Hello. Okay, so on this video I'm going to talk about hoovering. Basically, don't get sucked in. So this is how to handle narcissistic hoovering, part 1. And on this part I'm going to look at hoovering on social media. Excuse me. So vacuum cleaners, aka hoovers, suck up dust and debris. The term hoovering is used to describe a common tactic that the narcissist uses after the discard phase, usually in multiple attempts to suck you back into the relationship. Now, to the narc, you're really nothing more than dust and debris that needs to be hoovered up and spat back out again when he's done abusing you a second or more times around. So in part 1 of this 2-part series, I'm going to briefly cover social media. So basically that's any contact you might have on your phone, tablet, laptop or desktop. Now this is one of the reasons why it's so critical to sever all contact with the narc as soon as the discard happens. And I really mean all contact if you possibly can. Now I know it's not always possible if you have children together or business interests or joint property, for example. And in this case, your option is to go low contact. But if you can go no contact, do it. Because if you don't, you're leaving the door wide open for the narc to come slithering back in. And they will, guaranteed. You might think that this is a preposterous idea when they've treated you like dirt, they've treated you like someone they hated, they've tried to destroy you, to ruin you financially, they've left you emotionally bruised and battered. But none of this matters to the narcissist. What they've done, no matter how reprehensible it is of any consequence to them whatsoever. Remember that narcs don't think like most people. Normal logic just isn't part of their makeup. So let's have a look at this whole hoovering tactic thing that goes on and see how it usually shows up post-discard and what you can do to protect yourself from further abuse. So one of the first things that will start happening is you'll receive text messages. And of course that can be on Facebook, phone, whatever. Now the narc might send you sweet messages saying things like, "Oh, I know things got rough towards the end, but I want you to know how much you really mean to me. I just felt that I had to tell you that." Now, a message like that can have a huge emotional punch if you're still in love with the narc, or at least the idea of who he was, because you'll be immediately transported back to those golden days when everything was fabulous. Now, the very act of remembering those golden days, brings that longing more powerfully into focus in you. And this makes it very, very difficult to ignore or delete that message. But here's my advice. Delete the message. Block the sender. And do it before you have a chance to change your mind. What the narc is doing is a classic manipulation tactic. It's nothing more than that. He doesn't care about you. He didn't back then, and he proved that in spades, and he doesn't now. All he is after is narcissistic supply. Don't give it to him, okay? Now, if you're struggling with this, and the temptation to give in and reply is really strong, immediately switch the picture in your head from the golden days to the reality of what went on during the devaluing stage. And I've mentioned this tactic in a previous video, but it's really, really important that you do it. Strip off the rose-coloured spectacles. Recall with crystal clarity how the narc made you feel during that time and really feel into that feeling, okay? And then fast forward to the discard stage and recall that in all its painful detail too, and remember how you really felt. And then ask yourself, do you really want to go through all of that again? Because as sure as day is day and night is night, you will have to go through that again and worse if you allow the narc back into your life. So please hit that delete button. Block the sender. Do this across all your social media so that he can't send you any more of these kinds of messages. Now, another type of tactic that your ex might use is that he completely overlooks the reality of what he did to you. Sending a text along the lines of, breezy, chatty, "Hey you, long time, what's going on? What are you up to these days?" Now you might wonder if he in fact intended to send that message to you, or maybe he sent it by mistake. Surely he can't have sent you this innocuous message after all he did to you. Now you might be enraged and think, what the hell, is he serious? I'm going to give him a piece of my mind. And so you start typing up your reply. And again, my advice here is don't do it. If you do, you're immediately giving him fuel, and that's what he wants and needs from you. Don't give him the satisfaction. And that's not all. If you do reply, you've opened up the dialogue channel and you've given him a golden opportunity now to spout forth all kinds of new bullshit specifically designed to ensnare you, to suck you back in. And remember, he knows all your weak spots and all your vulnerabilities. And he will aim to push all your emotional buttons to feel sorry for him, to do whatever it takes to get you to drop your defences and go back with him. He might take the, "Oh, come on, it wasn't that bad. Every couple has ups and downs in their relationships. Can't we put this behind us and start over again?" He might take that angle. And you just might fall for it because that part of you still wants that love, still wants that golden period back again. Or another tactic he might try is he'll take the humble road. He'll tell you he's been seeing a therapist and he understands himself so much better now, and he knows where he went wrong. And he's been desolate, even suicidal since you guys broke up. He's heartbroken and would give anything to turn back the clock and have you in his arms again. And I've heard all of these happen, all of them. Now, all of these tactics are designed to hit, to hit your emotional buttons. And it would be very easy for you to think, well, maybe he deserves a second chance. But trust me on this, he doesn't. He doesn't deserve another chance because it's just a ploy. Okay? Now here's another common hoovering ploy. He'll fake a life-threatening illness. He'll tell you he's got cancer, or he thinks he's having a heart attack, or he'll pretend that one of his family is having a medical crisis. And all of this is designed to make you abandon what you're doing and rush to his side. Now another one is, he'll take you on a nostalgic trip in your mind about how great day X or time Y was. And it's usually accompanied by a romantic picture of the two of you or a link to your song. All of these are designed to push your emotional buttons. He knows how. Your job is to know exactly what he's up to and let it fall off you, let it roll off you like water off a duck's back. Now basically, a narcissist will tell every lie known to humankind and try every tactic in the book just to suck you back in. Now those are just a few examples, but the crux of it is, no matter what he says, you can't believe a single word of it because he's a pathological liar. He's only doing this to suck you back in and start the cycle of abuse all over again. Anything he says or does post-discard is nothing more than another of his manipulation tactics. So please, 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 please don't fall for it. Even if he sends you a message by mistake, know that it was no mistake. It's just another ploy. And my advice here again is, you've guessed it, delete the message, block him everywhere. Don't fall for it. Okay, so that takes care of messages and social media. But the narc doesn't stop there. He can and will arrange to bump into you if you happen to be still living in the same area. Or he'll get his flying monkeys involved to coerce you back. Now I'll talk about those scenarios and what you can do about those in part 2 of this little series. So I'll cover that in the next one, okay? So thank you very much for watching, and I'll share that with you very soon. Okay, bye for now.